Hello and welcome to the zero1cine Filmmaker Pro Guide. This video has intent to help you take the best of the GPT that were created with so much love for you all and help you in your process. Okay, so the GPT is made to assist you on the process of filmmaking, being AI produced or not, the movie you're making. This is not a solution that you enter a prompt and it will give you a whole thing done and ready to produce. That won't happen. Okay, that solution doesn't exist. So here, what I will take you is how to proper operate the GPT to get the best of it, to get this assistant to accelerate the process and elevate the level of your filmmaking. Okay, I already have a conversation ready here, so we can take a look faster. Okay, so the first tip is, if you don't understand any part of the process, ask the GPT. He's trained to do it. He's trained to guide you. Okay, so I started my conversation focusing on something really to the beginners and asking, teach me the step by step of how to produce a short movie. Okay, and as you can see here, it brings the step by step of the whole movie, from conceptualization, development, pre-production, production, post-production, review and revision, distribution and promotion, reflection and learning. And some additional resources. It lists some PDFs that are quite nice that you can search online and have a better knowledge about the subject. As you can see here, and this is the tip number 2, the more specific you can be, the better. Okay, and please iterate on the answers you receive. Don't take the first thing from the AI as correct or as the best. Have a conversation with it, improving its answers and giving more information as needed. For example, I forgot to specify things here. It's just a general prompt, which will give a general response. Now, adding some other information, like do a more concise and detailed step-by-step plan, taking account that I'm only using AI for the movie, so no footage production is required, no casting, and let's keep it until the conceptualization to the end of production, to have a final movie in hands. We will worry later about distribution and everything else. What I'm saying here? I'm saying here that we will not touch budgeting, casting, we will not touch scheduling, we will not touch equipment filming, okay? We will also not touch the distribution and promotion. So really to be more specific and have great answers from it. So now I have the step-by-step focusing on AI, which is what we will create. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can use this to create not AI movies, okay, to create a normal movie. And then it will specify here also that you need casting, budgeting, and everything else. Let's take a look on the answer. So the first thing he said us to do is the conceptualization, the idea generation, brainstorm concepts considering themes, messages, or genres. Okay, then we move to script writing, which is basically start to develop the story. Then we go to pre-production, taking the script writing and doing a storyboarding. So we will visualize each scene, plan transitions, and establish the visual flow of the music. Then we'll do the script breakdown, analyze the script to identify key scenes, dialogues, and required digital elements, characters, backgrounds, foregrounds, elements. Then we need to move to the production, do the AI animations and visualizations, voice synthesis, which can be done in a bunch of tools, and sound design, which can be also done with AI or not. Okay, and then we move to the post-production, which is editing, adding special effects, and add titles and credits, some text and information about the movie. And the final step is do some review, okay, which can be AI assisted. and final touches based on the AI feedback to improve your filmmaking to next level, your movie. Okay, so this is a great step-by-step that we can follow. And this is also the third tip. Do all the things with ChatGPT in general, especially with this GPT step-by-step, with a maximum of 3 really specific requests per prompt. Okay? Uh, what is not a specific request? Make me a comedy movie about childhood. That is completely generic and abroad and will not give you great answers. It will give you some decent answers because it's trained to do that, but DGPT is made to be your assistant during the process of filmmaking, not to do it for you. Okay, so let's take a look in how this process develops and how to properly operate it. So after he does the plan, I ask him, let's start with the idea brainstorming. And I ask 2 specific things for him. Can you guide me through this process of brainstorming? And what type of information do you need from me for us to start the brainstorming? Okay. It's important to have this conversation, this back and forth with the machine, asking him things, asking him what he needs from you to develop the things. Okay. So here his answer is he'll be delighted to guide us through the process. And here is the information that will be helpful. Genre, if it's horror, fantasy, comedy, whatever. Themes or message, what your movie is about. Target audience is for something that is really specific. If it is for a client, you probably have a really niched audience in mind. Sometimes it's just for everybody, and that's okay. Inspirations, are there any films, books, artworks, studios, real life events, or whatever that can inspire the film and that you like to draw elements from, not to copy, not to use it, just to drink from it and build your own? Length and pace, how long do you imagine to do your movie? And this is important to do because you have to think about how much time do you have in your life to dedicate to this movie. Will it be 8-hour work per day during a week, or it will be half an hour per day during a month? So whatever time you can dedicate to the movie will dictate the length of it. Like if you have a lot of time available, do a 10 minutes, 30 minutes movie. If you have really short time available, focus in 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. And the pace is like what depends on the genre, on the target audience, on the themes and messages, like to be slow, fast pace, contemplative and slow, fast paced and action packed, or something in between. Like he always explains what he wants. Unique elements, is there anything specific that you want in there, or experimental ideas? And he gives some examples: non-linear narrative, specific visual style, or unconventional storytelling technique. Okay, so he said that once we provide these details, he can go to the brainstorming with us. Okay, here I don't know what unconventional storytelling techniques means, so I ask him. Okay, again, if you don't know what it means, ask him. Can you give me examples of unconventional storytelling techniques? And then enters the 4th tip, which is specify the formats of the answers they're expecting, really in detail. Like, for example, make me a list of 10. So I really specifying the number of answers I want. Please provide title, description, and 2 examples of movies that use this technique. So I'm giving really specific format to follow. Later on, we have another example, but this is really interesting because you can analyze if the ChatGPT is understanding what you're doing and if you need to iterate your answers or your conversation with it, or you can move on. So here is the examples of unconventional storytelling techniques that is following exactly what I ask: title, a description, and examples of 2 movies that use them. Let's just read 2 of them so we understand what it is. Non-linear narrative. This technique involves telling the story out of chronological order. It can create a more complex and engaging narrative, like Pulp Fiction or Memento by Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. So it's quite an amazing technique that we can use it. Breaking the fourth wall, characters acknowledge the audience presence, breaking the imaginary wall between the film's world and the viewer, like Ferris Bueller Day Off or Deadpool. He talks to the camera, he talks to the person that is viewing. Okay, and he lists 10 as I requested. Okay, so now I will go to answer the 6 questions so we can move on our brainstorming. My choice is to do a sci-fi comedy movie in terms of genre. The theme will be a movie about veganism and how to bring the value information of the theme in a light and easy to understand way. So again, specify a lot. The most you can, better. Audience, general audience, using an easy to understand language, where a 16-year-old and a 70-year-old could be captivated by the movie. Again, be specific. I could just say general audience, but what I mean with general audience. It's really important to be in detail, to tell things in detail. Inspirations. Well, I like a lot how Studio Ghibli tells a story and making them look like magic, like mundane events like walking on the streets just becomes something really interesting in a Studio Ghibli movie. Length and pace, short 3-minute video, fast pace, and really funny movie. Okay. And for the visual style, I like something that is hyper realistic, but also cute and captivating, inviting for the people, and to use the breaking the fourth wall unconventional technique. So this information that I didn't know about, now I can insert in my movie. Okay. And now enter the fifth tip. Ask really specific and direct questions that you can analyze the answers and tell if it's going to the right direction or not. That way we'll be sure that the GPT is not missing anything or making any confusion. If you find an error or confusion, go back and ask to iterate it. For example, can you please make a summary of everything we decided until now in a briefing format? So we have to analyze if it's in a briefing format and if it's summarizing everything we decided until now. If it does this, it means we are going to the right direction and we can move on. So here is the briefing. It is in a briefing format, clearly, and it has just filled the information that we defined. We didn't define a title for the movie, so it's to be determined. We did define the genre, we did define the length, we did define the target audience. So everything here is based on what we talked before. So it means we are going to a good direction. It has 2 things that we didn't talk much, apart from this production approach is all AI based, so all symbol, and the synopsis. The synopsis, they have the title that needs to be developed. Okay, he gives us a resume. And because he's well trained, he already proposed the next steps of it. Okay, and give some notes. So from now on, it gets in a little bit of repetitive in terms of what to do, but believe me, it will not be boring at all. It's a quite interesting and creative process that happens, but it is the technique keeps repeating itself so you can get to the end of it. Okay. So I thank him, and now let's develop a list of 5 ideas for the synopsis of the movie. And here I make on purpose, not specific. Okay, so this is the answers, and it has some quite interesting synopses and ideas, but this is not really a synopsis. It's already a resume of the movie. It's already doing things that doesn't need to be there. Okay, so that's a little bit the problem of not being specific. ChatGPT will go wherever he think it's right and not really the right thing that you want to do. And now doing the same thing, let's develop a list of 5 ideas for the synopsis of the movie, but I'm giving specific indications of each one of the ideas. So in the first one, the movie go around the life of the farmer animals, and the animals themselves are the protagonists. The second one is emotional and funny route, when humans be the protagonists, like insert a child worried about the animals. The third one is showcasing the ugly situation of the meat and dairy industry in a humorous way, and go on and on and on. And even after specifying this, which is a lot already, I specify a format again. Okay. So the format is title, the synopsis, how it helps to portray the information of the team, the level of humor from 1 to 10, and a call to action in the end, like what will people take from this movie when they watch it. Okay. And now you can see that the answers are quite more assertive. It gives exactly what I need from this stage of the process. Let's read the first one. In a world where farm animals can talk, a group of witty and charismatic animals, led by a wise old cow named Bessie, plan a comedic escape from their farm to find a fable animal sanctuary. They share their dreams, fears, and humorous anecdotes about farm life along the way. How it portrays the theme. The story humanizes farm animals, encouraging empathy and highlighting their individual personalities and emotions, which is doing a lot. Humor level 8, which I love it. And the call to action is encourage viewers to consider lives of animals and promotes cruelty-free living. So it's way more aligned with what we need at this stage of this conversation. Okay. And now I will just give another simple example for you. What you should do here is ask him the next step. Please, what is the next step? Let's follow with idea 1. So I'm saying that we're going with this idea and to him to describe me the next step. And again, from now on is just a little bit of repeating the process of asking the next step, asking him to summarize everything that is defined, asking him questions about what you need to tell him to evolve this movie to a good direction. For example, characters development is a super important phase. Plot outline, scene breakdown, script writing, incorporating themes and messages and everything. So we need to go through all these steps to really get an amazing movie into in the end of all this. I will teach just one last thing, actually 2 things, which is that this GPT, it can also provide the images, the base images for your storytelling, for your movie. So let's ask him can you please generate some basic storyboard images for this idea? And the other thing that I want to teach you is it's really easy to get a little bit lost in here. Okay, so I suggest you to create a file in Figma or whatever tool you feel comfortable and organize the whole thing. So here I am preparing the workflow. I will use in my movie Cinema 4D to create the scenes and then pass it through AI engines to stylize it. If you're not doing that, you've just been like having a script and then going to AI engines, go to After Effects or whatever other software you want to add some effects and do this, like improve the scenes. Adobe Premiere to do the montage. You could use Runway Editor to do that. Ableton Live to sound design. In my case, because I know the tool, you can search for whatever AI tool to produce sound. Music, download or artist, and then use AI again to do the pro resolution. Okay. So I separated here what I need to test to make sure it will goes everything well and my deadline. Then we have the nice things, which is the storyboard. So I get the images that ChatGPT generated here for me, like this one, and start inserting in here. Okay. So, and it's quite interesting, the whole storyboard. I will probably ask him to do it one by one. Do each scene one by one. And honestly, this comes after we do this, this, and this, and this. Okay. After we have the script writing, you can start asking him to draw an image of each of the scenes. Okay. But for the time's sake, I just skip some steps to showcase you the power of the tool. Okay, so organize yourself. Like I have the ideas here, then the script. So it's going top down and then left, right. Okay, mood board, references of images, the AI generated images, the characters I have, links and downloads for everything I need. So I'll be here. So it's really important to have all of this well organized. Otherwise, you will lost yourself in the process. Okay, so I hope you could learn a lot and develop some awesome things here on Filmmaker Pro. Can't wait to see your results. Please tag zero1cine in your creations and let us know ways to improve the tool. Okay, and remember, it's not a prompt that will solve your problem, it's a process. And this is the process that I'm teaching you. It's one of the process that works. I tested myself and it works. So that's why I'm teaching you. But find your own process. Find the way that you feel comfortable talking to the machine. Ask a lot of questions to it. He's here to educate you, not just do things for you. He's here to assist you in the whole process. Okay. Hope you like it and make good use of it.